Countdown to Kickoff is presented by Tostitos.
Get to the Good Stuff is brought to you by Tostitos, made for dipping. All right, the Chiefs and Eagles just 6 days away from the Super Bowl in New Orleans. You see him arriving. Both teams landed yesterday. That's the Chiefs getting off the plane and getting ready for the game. They're there for the rest of the week, and there's Saquon Barkley making his way to the bus, looking back like, who's looking at me there? All right, let's zero in on the Eagles defense, though. The Eagles defense led the NFL this season in many things. First in efficiency, yards per play, pass yards per game, and first downs per game, just to name a few. The Eagles also allowed their fewest pass yards per game since 1998. That was also the same year that Jalen Hurts was born. Woo! All right, Mina, how different is this Eagles defense from the version that we saw in the Super Bowl just 2 years ago?
You know, going back and looking at that defense, the thing that jumps out is how much pressure they got, right? That pass rush had so many sacks, and they were arguably the best four-man rush in the NFL. This defense, however, is more complete. And there's a stat that I think captures that, which is how they rank across the league in EPA per play when they don't get pressure. So back in 2022, when that defense didn't get pressure, they were 24th. This year, not only are they the best defense in the NFL in EPA per play, they are the only defense league-wide with negative EPA per play when they don't get pressure on the quarterback. And what I think that reflects, guys, is the complete transformation of this back seven. They are fast. They are physical. They are disciplined. They don't bust coverage. They arrive at the football and they limit yards after the catch. And I would argue this defense, this transformed secondary linebacker group, is actually a better matchup for this version of the Chiefs offense that leans on yards after the catch. So I think this whole transformation from 2022 to now actually works in their favor for this Super Bowl.
Absolutely. And, you know, you look at those statistics that Mina showed, we have to remember that Hassan Reddick absolutely played out of his mind that year. And he had so many pressures and so many sacks off of his side of the ball. I believe that this team is also better rushing the middle of the pocket than they were versus Kansas City the first time, which we know you have to be when facing someone like Patrick Mahomes. You want to get pressure in his face. But I love the way that they're built from a coverage standpoint on the back end. They play everything top down. There's always sticky coverage. And also linebackers play so well as they match their zones in the underneath coverages. And so you're thinking about some of those mesh routes, some of those scramble to plaster plays that Patrick Mahomes can make. I believe that this team is uniquely designed to protect against that. And think about this, Darius Slay and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson were both there in their first matchup. But look at the upgrades in the other positions. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, also Reed Blankenship, and the way that Zach Bond plays the pass as well. I think that this team, as Mina says, is better prepared to face the Kansas City Chiefs. I also believe that they're a team that could create plays better than the team that faced the Chiefs in 2022.
Yeah, I listened to all of that you all said, and you're exactly right. The one thing that stands out with Philly's defense is the ability to tackle in open space. And RC, you mentioned Zach Bond. Not only his ability to tackle in space, but the volume. If you look at, and I'm going to have a tape when we get there for Super Bowl week about how each unit, those particular guys protect other guys. They play as a unit. They don't care about statistics. They don't care about who makes the play. It's about funneling the football and making sure the play is made, lining down and playing it again. We've all known for a long time that Vic Fangio likes to keep everything in front of him, but it's different when you keeping everything in front of you and the D-line is in direct unison and the linebackers understand how to fit off of each other and not just the D-line. And to your point, RC, that secondary with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Reed Blankenship, two safeties who I believe communicate at a high level, but also protect their guys when they're in man-to-man. It's a really good defense.
I feel like we buried the lead a little bit by not mentioning the difference Vic Fangio has made in his defense. And I think it goes beyond the X's and O's and what he's done schematically. How many times did we turn on the tape last year and see a lack of effort to the football, missed tackles, also not understanding pursuit angles, what your leverage is, how you can approach the football when we're talking about going long stride to short stride. It seems like he really got this team locked down on the fundamentals and on the basics of playing defense. And when you can do those things, run to the ball, be extremely smart in your pursuit angles, and be physical at the tackle, that is the way you create turnovers, but also you create a culture.
I mean, the NFC Championship was a perfect showcase for what you're describing, Ryan. All those forced tumbles, those hits, punching the ball out, those weren't accident. Those weren't lucky. Yeah. They were the product of a season-long emphasis on physicality in terms of arriving at the football and taking proper angles. Now, that said, the Chiefs' ability to get yards after the catch and scheme the guys open and get them leverage is different from the Commanders. Yeah. It presents a much different challenge. This is a strength-on-strength matchup. But what we have seen from this Eagles defense all year long, this transformation prepares them for this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth remembering the Eagles have 10 takeaways this postseason alone. Their offense has no turnovers, so that's a good way to win the turnover battle.
It's a good combo.
Okay, it's time for big game play.
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just want to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.